Hi, I'm Adriana Salveral, and welcome to the second episode of Social and You, where I'll sit and speak candidly with persons about social matters occurring in the British Virgin Islands. In this program, I'll sit and speak with Laurel Freeman, social worker within the Social Development Department, on the topic of child abuse for Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month in April. Thank you for joining me here today, Ms. Freeman.
Thank you for having me, Miss Salveral.
So we're here to discuss child abuse. What are the negative impacts of abuse of children, and why is it important for persons to report it?
Well, imagine a 2-year-old who makes a report and says that her uncle touches her vagina, or a brother who has sex with his sister, his blood sister. Those are some of the reports that we receive here at Social Development. And from those reports, the negative impact can range from a variety of behaviors. The children can act out in school, have various behavioral issues, truancy, they can be aggressive, promiscuous, they can start to use drugs, they can start to use alcohol. So all of those are some of the effects of child abuse, or even be withdrawn, be isolated. Those are some of the signs that we see with the children that we deal with at Social Development.
And by persons reporting it, then what type of treatment is offered here by the department?
Well, once we receive a report, we respond with police, the Family and Juvenile Unit of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force. We conduct a joint investigation. Once the investigation is completed, the department then make referrals for therapeutic intervention of the child to community mental health or to a private practitioner within the territory, such as the wellness center or some other facility.
We know you mentioned child sexual abuse, or sexual abuse being one of the types of abuse. What are some other types and tell signs, and what has been maybe the most prominent type of abuse here in the BVI in most recent years?
Well, since about 2013, we've been focusing a lot on child sexual abuse. And I know persons may have seen or Teddy around town, or there have been times when we have had or Drive Blue, Wear Blue activity, and persons in the community would wear blue during that day. So child sexual abuse is one of the most egregious type of abuse that we see and deal with here at the department. But there are other types, such as physical abuse, where we don't say that we don't advocate not to beat your child, but we always say not to do it when you're angry, because when you're angry, you tend to do more damage. And we've seen children with bruises, with bite marks, with burns. So we try to encourage parents not to abuse your children in anger. Timeouts work, take away the devices. We also see incidences of verbal abuse, where children are called names, by the caregiver, nasty names. We also have neglect. It's important for parents to provide food, clothing, and shelter for their children, but that does not always happen. There are children who attend school without having a meal, without having breakfast, without having lunch, and some go home without having dinner. So those are the types of abuses that we see here at the department.
So how has the department been addressing these cases, and how can the community show support to the department, who then services the persons in need?
Well, prevention is a very important step in combating child abuse. So one of the things we try to do is go out to the schools during the month of April and educate our boys and girls about what abuse is, what it looks like, and what they can do if it happens to them. So we, focus a lot on the prevention aspect. But if we come in at the time where it has already occurred, then we try to put support services in place for the family. They might be having a difficult time financially, so we would make recommendations for them to receive whether financial assistance or food assistance. It might be a single mom who's not receiving maintenance for the children, so we advocate on her behalf at the magistrate's court to assist in receiving maintenance so that the financial burden can be lightened. We also assist with childcare. Persons can apply and we pay a portion of the daycare or childcare facility bill.
In reference to child sexual abuse, sometimes persons may be uncomfortable with naming of body parts. So what are the appropriate names for them, and what type of advice would you offer parents, especially those new parents or young parents or parents with small children, on what to call their body parts and how to be cautious against child predators?
As I mentioned before, when we go to the schools, we talk, to the young children from kindergarten, up to 6th grade. And we always say to them, wherever your bathing suit covers, that's your private part. Okay. And we encourage them to call it by the correct name: your breast, your vagina, your penis, your buttocks. But if they know it as another name, once they can identify it as their private part, even if it's different than what we try to teach them, then, that's fine. But we try to teach them to call it by the proper biological name so it can be more identifiable in the event something happens or they are harmed.
Okay. So as our interview comes to a close, tell us about Child Abuse Prevention Month and the activities planned by the department.
Well, every April we bring awareness to the issue of child abuse in our territory. Of course, it happens every day of the year, every month of the year, but on April we bring more focused attention to it. On April 4th, we're going to be at the National Bank of the Virgin Islands distributing information and also selling our teddy pins, which are $5 each. And the proceeds from the teddy pins go towards therapeutic treatment for our survivors of, victims turned survivors of child sexual abuse and any other forms of abuse. On April 7th, we'll be partnering with the Autism Center with a fun day at the Noah Lloyd Positive Action Movement Park. I'm not sure what time it begins, but I would say maybe about 9-10 o'clock until. And on April 26th, we'll be going to a school on one of the outer islands to bring awareness, talk to the kids, do a puppet show, talk about Toby, the teddy. And on April 28th, we're encouraging everybody to wear blue on that day. They can contact the department if they're interested in purchasing t-shirts. We've changed the t-shirt this year. So it's a blue t-shirt that says "Break the Silence," End Child Sexual Abuse. And that is our theme for this year. Break the silence, building community, building hope. And we're encouraging our community to get on board with our survivors because child abuse happens in our territory. So we need to stop being silent about it, because silence is acceptance. So we're asking everybody to join us in our efforts on April 28th to break the silence and wear blue.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me today, Ms. Freeman.
Thanks for having me.
That was Laurel Freeman, social worker within the Social Development Department. We spoke on the issue of child abuse, the tell signs, how the department has been managing cases, and activities planned for Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month in April. For more information on Family, Children, and Protective Services within the Social Development Department, contact them at 468-3636. To access this program, subscribe to the Government of the Virgin Islands YouTube page or like us on Facebook at the Government of the Virgin Islands for your daily news. Until next time, I'm Adriana Salvarall.